welcome everyone to the conclusion. In conclusion, I'm very happy about the Ultimatum League. Many things we talked about on the Fatal Connections podcast and expressed as wishes have been done by Grinding Gear Games, and there's a chance that the game will once again be in the best state it's ever been in. I really appreciate the intent of the Grinding Gear Games balance team of returning the best possible rewards to the league mechanics they belong to, and as a consequence, every one of those league mechanics now is worth running, because you cannot get all the best rewards by just spamming whatever super rewarding mechanic you want to. Best example was Heist during Heist League, giving you all the best stuff from rewards like essences, incubators, to delirium orbs, catalyst, etc. and more than you could ever get from running the actual league content. Yes, without investment, all of these mechanics are a little bit more rare, but that combined with the better rewards will make them feel super good and rewarding when you actually come across them, and will make investing into juice on your maps and filling in your Atlas passes really feel worthwhile. And hopefully, as a result, for a decently long time into the league, any strategy that involves specializing into running one or two specific types of league content will feel relevant and rewarding to do in trade economies. The skill balance changes are all very fair in my opinion. I would have expected a bit of a harder nerf to the dominant slam archetype on the champion characters stacking Fortify effect, which will still probably be very dominant in competitive hardcore events. I would have also expected Blade Blast to get hit a bit harder. I think it would have survived a stronger nerf, but it's evident that this is the kind of multi-button combo gameplay that the balance team wants to be rewarded by numerical superiority. The Val skills that have been adjusted are all quite a bit better now, and I'm excited to see Val Ground Slam and Val Ice Nova specifically, and we are much more likely to see use of Val skills in general that aren't auras, and they will get more uses out of them. The passive tree changes are also very fair, and I don't have a whole lot to say about them. Again, I would have appreciated some more nerfs to scaling of Fortify effect, and I'm not sure Corrupted Soul needed to be nerfed by that much, but I assume they have a big rework plan to defensive options in Path of Exile at some point in the future, and they just don't want to destroy options now without providing a nice amount of alternative options. The changes to the new Atlas passes are refreshing, but the bigger change here is that the reward system improvements to the league-specific content make presumably everything worth running now. The big powerhouse for leveling experience and generating currency, the guaranteed harbingers with reinforcements in Valdo's Rest, are now likely not what everyone rushes, and will just be a good option if you want to target Harbinger currency, but probably will slow down your mapping quite a bit. For early league, I will likely go for Blight passives in Valdo's Rest instead, in order to get some oils and blighted maps now. In Haywark Hamlet, while Harvest is still a good investment, I will probably pick up Essence passes now to craft items with essences, and in Lex Proxima, will also pick up some Delve passes to generate Sulfite to get the improved fossil returns from Delve to be fossil crafting. Also, I'm really interested in investing into Abyss nodes in Turn's End and Nuvestir because of the well-rolled Abyss jewels and the fact that you can only get Stygian Vise belt bases from Abyssal Depths now. Despite the fact that the Atlas maps haven't been shuffled, I think the Atlas still feels fresh with new additions, and it's actually nice to have another league with the same maps. I personally don't think they need to shuffle the maps around every league, and twice per year is more than enough, especially with the Atlas passes being moved and adjusted. I also would have liked it if they had made Zana maps witnessable, but from a lore point of view that would have made no sense, as Zana is not in favor of engaging with the Maven encounters, and the biggest problem here were the synthesis maps, which are now less likely from Zana, but in return, the Uncharted Realms node neural pathways can much more reliably generate unique synthesis maps, and you can use them to have the fights witnessed by Maven instead. I'm hyped to see many dominant meta strategies receive small nerfs and to see underappreciated mechanics of the past be brought up in power, and I can't wait to experience the thrill of actually doing abysses for jewels and belts, blighted maps for oils, essences for top tier crafting materials, incursions for the incursion uniques, and so on. There have been a lot of nerfs, but other than Null's Inclination, Blade Vortex, and Valdor's Rest Harbingers, nothing has been nerfed to the point that you would not want to run it anymore. For people who ran Blade Vortex before, there's still Winter Orb, and for Atlas passes, well, there were plenty of great alternative options before, which just got a whole lot more attractive for the discussed reasons. The nerf to harvest crafting had resulted in quite a bit of an uproar in a very vocal part of the community, but I think it will be still very powerful because it appears more frequently, and especially for people who don't get to red maps on day one, it will raise their baseline gear by quite a bit and allow everyone to, even without trading currencies, base items or crafts, make characters strong enough to reach and defeat the content where the really good bases and crafting currencies can be acquired. I know a lot of people think that the harvest nerfs benefit just the top 1% of players while hurting everyone else, but in fact I think especially players with a casual approach and limited playtime will still get a lot out of harvest. Allowing them to make uninfluenced gear that is so good that it can make up for some suboptimal influenced gear that doesn't have much besides the combination of desired influenced mods. I'm talking about filler rares with a lot of energy shield, mana or life, and resistances, maybe a useful benchcraft. Those items are still going to be possible to craft with Harvest, and you can still use Conqueror's Exalted Orbs to add influence and influence modifiers to them after you craft them with Harvest. I can't wait to see the Act Boss loot memes on League Start, when the perceived loot is probably not quite as good as everyone hoped, but hey, who knows, maybe it's really worth it to run Act 10 Kitava, for example, a couple of times before starting to map. It would certainly be cool to have that a thing again. For the League Start, I'm going to be playing in a hardcore trade private league together with the fellow streamers Baker and ENKI, and our community members from our Twitch live streams. If you don't know them yet, Baker was the first person to ever hit level 100 in Hardcore Path of Exile back in the day, and ENKI is the author of the prominent ENKI's Archwitch Guide to Path of Exile, which is known for being very beginner friendly. We're currently around 60 people, I believe, but it would be cool to have more people join. I will post a bunch of links to the ENKI guide, ENKI's Discord, and the private league in the description down below so you can join if you want. I don't know what my league start is 100%, but I'm leaning towards starting Poison, Bladefall, Blade Blast on Occultist for some strong early single target boss DPS and the ability to go Chaos Inoculation or Low Life relatively early as well. If you're wondering what good starter builds could be, there's a list that tytykiller, one of the fastest speedrunners, makes every league, which I will also link below. There are also countless summary videos with good league starters. If you want my personal opinion, go either with Bladefall Blade Blast with Inquisitor or Assassin for bossing, Essence Drain Contagion on Trickster for clear speed, Earthquake or Earth Shatter Champion for tankiness, and minions, Summon Skeletons or Spectre Necromancers are also going to be really good, especially for blighted maps, which are going to be desirable. That's it. Thank you very much. Check out the links below. Check out the podcast Faded Connections I host every other week with Archmage. And happy League Start, everyone. Best of luck. Rich Exalted drops. I'll see you in 3.14.